I thought I'd take a little minute to kind of translate some of what we're seeing on the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives into everyday language for the non-Mormons out there. So one of the biggest questions that I'm getting is about the appearance. Why does it seem like so many Mormon girls have to have the microblading, the big blue eyes, the eyelashes, the bleached teeth, the contouring, the extensions, the boob job? Oh my gosh, I've just explained myself. Disclaimer, everything on me is real, including the boobs, but I do style myself still in a very Mormon way. The Mormon women that you're seeing on your screen are actually in response to the Mormon man's ideal woman. The biggest role that the Mormon woman plays is as a mother. The Mormon church teaches that that's a sacred, divine responsibility and that it is our ultimate purpose in the eternities also. Mormon women aren't just going to be sitting on clouds with like a harp to play. They are going to be bearing children as eternal goddesses to their husband. So Mormon men have almost kind of fetishized motherhood. Think Ballerina Farm. Like somebody who, like, you know that she's hot under that pioneer nightgown and the little bit of cleavage that's kind of like a little bit too much is showing. But she could simultaneously like rock your world in bed while whipping up a stack of pancakes with fresh sliced garden strawberries and whipped cream on top. That right there, that little MILF who doesn't even know she's that hot, that is every Mormon man's ultimate fantasy. I call it domestic erotica. And because Mormonism teaches doctrinally that Heavenly Father made you either male or female, and that masculine and feminine attributes are very distinctively different, the Mormon men perceive themselves as like all masculine with their little beards and mustaches and suit coats, pickup truck, and they have the expectation that their little kitchen goddess is going to be very feminine. So the longer the hair, the bluer the eyes, the bigger the boobs, the tinier the waist, the more sexy they are to their very effeminate, very, I don't even know what's going on in the world of Mormon men these days, little wannabe men. Some of the things that are really valued in Mormon women too are innocence, purity, that virginal princess. So Mormon women talk in a way that their voice sounds younger. They're really careful to make sure that they have like lots of blush and that you always hear, I am 50 years old and I still occasionally get ID'd because I'm a Mormon. Subliminally, I'm always trying to be youthful and innocent and bubbly and look like somebody from Dateline NBC would want to pick me up. Mormon women are also praised for their submission to their husbands. So the more aggressive and like masculine and bossy you are, the less desirable you are to the cute little Mormon return missionary boy. And also, I think that it's really important to point out that Mormon girls are usually very sheltered in their lives, and they often go from their childhood home to their husband without really any life experience in between. So they are very actually naive and sheltered and submissive because the Mormon husbands are graduating from college and going on missions to like Guatemala and the Czech Republic, where they're getting these crazy life experiences. So they come home, they're older, they have a lot of life experience and leadership skills, and their wives are in fact submissive, clueless, and sheltered. And then I went from my childhood home to getting married and having babies. So I just repeated my childhood again. I was at play groups. I was volunteering at school. I never became an adult, and I doubt I ever will. Mormon girls don't have to be adult. We're like Peter Pan, which explains a lot about why, when you're watching these conversations among these women who are like 31 years old, 29 years old, it sounds like sitting in the cafeteria of an actual middle school because your development is so arrested as a Mormon woman that you're, I mean, literally like special ed, in my opinion. This is my own experience. I had a non-Mormon friend recently who commented that I was like an indoor cat. I was a house pet, and I never had to go out and brave the wilds. I preserved my fluffy coat. Secret Lives explained from an actual Mormon. So I'm getting a lot of questions around, are Mormons really that promiscuous? And if so, why? Like Mormons and swinging doesn't seem like a thing. Oh, but it is. And anyone who tells you it's not is lying to you. Mormon doctrine teaches absolute abstinence. that schmex outside of marriage is the sin next to murder, and that you should only ever have schmex with one person, and that's your husband or wife to whom you're legally, lawfully wedded for all of eternity. One person. So when other teenagers are going through normal, appropriate experimentation with different partners and kind of getting that out of their system so that eventually they feel like they're ready to settle down and get married, Mormons are just holding it in. When I went to college, I wouldn't even kiss boys. I was like, handshake at the door. Mormons are also told by their church leaders to get married very young, and they have to because they can't have schmecks until they're married. So they're all just like about to explode. I was. Dude, you fall in love, you put a ring on it like 2 weeks later because you know you're not going to be able to both keep your pants on until you get to the temple. So you get married at like 18, 19, 20, and you haven't gotten that stuff out of your system as a teenager. And now you're with this one person and it gets super boring. Add to this, Mormon kids really don't have any type of schmex education. My mom signed a note and gave to my school that I was banned from ever going to a schmex ed class because she didn't want to taint her pure little daughter. So when everyone else was learning about their periods and stuff, I was sitting in the library reading Wuthering Heights. I didn't learn about consent. I didn't learn about birth control, STDs. I didn't learn about anything. Jesus was my birth control and my body belonged to my husband. So there is a high level of irresponsibility within the Mormon community because there's no education. So purity culture, kids who've never experimented, get married super young. They don't know about consent. They don't understand like the negative consequences of infidelity, swinging. A few years in, your marriage can start to feel like a trap. It can start to feel very boring. But you cannot get divorced. Mormon marriages are for time and all eternity. We are taught that we have an eternal companion who's out there somewhere that is the other half of our soul, and that we will become gods and goddesses and create worlds together for all of eternity. There is no divorce. There is no divorce in Mormonism. Your divorced Mormon friends are sinners. They are under the influence of Satan, babe. So that leads to a lot of adultery. A lot of corn. Utah is one of the highest corn states. A lot of predatory behavior, swinging. My Mormon returned missionary husband had approximately 100 affairs in 24 years of marriage that I didn't know about until the end. And one other thing that I think is a really significant factor in what goes on with a lot of Mormon affairs is that Mormon men really don't have trust for worldly women. Like, they're not going to bars and stuff. They don't want that type of girl. They want to cheat with Mormon girls. Mormon men want to cheat with Mormon girls. Okay, on the flip side of that, if a Mormon woman is thinking of cheating, she doesn't have a job. She's not working outside of the home. It's not like she has like some sexy coworker that she can like hook up with. The only people that she knows are like her best friend's husband, her bishop, the elders quorum president, the guy down the street. So the Mormon woman doesn't have access to any non-Mormons or anybody outside of her little ward family. And the Mormon man doesn't want some worldly girl. So inevitably they end up wife swapping. How prevalent is swinging in the Mormon community? I have been asked to swing by 4 separate couples in my 24-year marriage, which we did not because I am not that type of girl. We used to belong to a group of friends in Los Angeles. You guys all know who you are. Courtney, Dawn, Chad. Once a month, we got together and play cards and stuff at somebody's house. We would all rotate in our fancy $1 million homes. And there was more talk about each other's bodies and cheating with each other and swinging than there was about the actual card games. And got to the point where the prizes were things like, I don't think I can say it on TikTok, toys, gnomes, because that was the big thing. Like, if you're a swinger, you put the gnome on your porch. If you have Mormons with gnomes on their porches, beware. During my divorce alone, my married Mormon divorce attorney sexually harassed me to the point that I had to report him to the bar. He was officially censored. 2 of my Mormon boyfriends from college told me that they were going to leave their wives to date me. One of them sent me a inappropriate photo, which I turned around and sent to his wife. And then I found out that a Mormon artist that I had been seeing was happily married, not even separated. She got screenshots too, by the way. It's almost like the more an organization tries to control people's private lives and make certain behaviors taboo, the more crazy those people are going to be.